it is about human beings. And technology is our partner. And that we need to actually come alongside one another to create the greatness we so desire. The time for speaking is done. The time for rebuilding our own brokenness has come. We cannot, we will not succeed in a wave of digital transformation where machines can do things better than you can if you refuse to rebuild your walls and deal with your brokenness.
I struggled. I went to the Department of Education.
Yeah.
Pastor, they said, don't call us.
We'll call you.
I'm still waiting. This 2019.
Yeah.
So I was distracted.
Yeah.
Since Google, we didn't have those research things that you spoke about.
Yeah.
And then God said to me, what is it that you have inside of you? I said, Baba, I can just only speak.
Good.
That's where I thought, every voice must bring an in God we trust, all else must bring.
Yes.
I started speaking and people call me a motivational speaker. I don't care what you call me, as long as you pay me, I am what you say I am. That is why I know you paid a lot of money with me, Selah. That's why we are giving you all these books and CDs. You still do not have a clue how much we are giving you. You don't have a clue. And I've only seen 4 people downloading the stuff. Please, Pastor Loan. The audio books, some of them, 1 audio book, 6 CDs. You cannot find them anywhere else. We're the exclusive distributor of John Maxwell material in Africa. You can't find the stuff that we're giving you. You Google them, you find out how much expensive they are. But again, if we give you stuff, you're not hungry, Mondays or figure, people still have not downloaded. For free! We've got our latest book, Leadership and the Fourth Industrial. 200 pages. For free! But still people are looking, still do not get that. That's why we need to begin to charge so that people can appreciate value.
Maybe before I get to that, just for the benefit of, because not only are captains of industry, but they're also parents, their understanding is probably many a times people are struggling with why we have so much youth unemployment, why this is happening, why so much social ills with our youth. We kind of have a sort of like a triangular population in this country. At the tip is your adults, which will comprise your taxpayers, but at the very same time, at the very tip of the triangle, it's a very small population, it's probably around 21%. And then at the base, between the 0 to 35 years, we decided to include the zeros because very soon before you know it, they transition into the stage of being youth. 79% of the population of this country is between 0 and 35 years. And within that bulk, you've got about plus minus 54% unemployment, both educated and uneducated, and it's even worse if they're not educated. That's the scenario. And the worst case scenario within, the very same population, 60% of those within the ages of 0 to 35 are incarcerated in His Majesty's Correctional Services. So there's a lack of understanding in terms of sometimes the nation sees the budget and so much of it goes towards the armed forces, towards the police, towards the correctional services. We need to start shifting the trend of actually focusing on pumping more funds towards corrections, because what we don't realize, we are reducing on scholarships because we've got to take care of the other population, which is not in the productive sector. That is why the correctional services has moved a step to try and do rehabilitation. But here's the downside again to the rehabilitation. Because of the social challenges outside, most of the young people don't want to leave rehabilitation. A classic case of one young man was released in Pikes Peak Correctional Services, committed a crime hardly an hour upon release. He calculated very well, he knew what he was going to do, steal polony. Because he knew that the offenses of stealing petty things attract a stiffer sentence. And being a repeat offender, the magistrate will know to give a much more stiffer sentence because you are becoming a habitual criminal. But the whole point is not about becoming a habitual criminal. It's because there is easy life. I'm better taken care of in the correctional services than outside. That's are the dynamics that are happening out there. And you touched on something which is also very critical, issues of mental health and substance abuse, and parents are struggling in understanding why our young people are getting hooked. So many social challenges. So what we have decided to do, and what we're going to be doing, not only with the ICANN Foundation, and also tapping into the University of Eswatini, we are looking at first things first, and the most critical thing. Our young people in the country need a mindset change, mindset shift against all the challenges that are out there. Because now what is happening is we are facing quite a number of young people that are becoming lethargic. Whether educated or uneducated, the situation to them is there is no hope. What can we do? They are looking at all things. You are looking at your media, your newspapers. There's not so many positive stories that are coming out. There's always a challenge that is coming out, and it's reinforcing the thought and the feeling of hopelessness amongst young people. So one of the things which we'll be doing with the ICANN Foundation, we'll be running these leadership seminars for our young people as a first step, because it's very critical to work on the mindset shift. We are trying with the Youth Enterprise Fund to begin engaging young people into business and entrepreneurship. There will be challenges for as long as we have not worked on the mindset. We tried the first time with a 10 million capitalization on the Youth Enterprise Fund. And what happened was we lost almost all the 10 million because we could not understand the dynamics that were involved with young people. There are 7 phenomena with your children, the youth. One of them, high expectations. You need to manage expectations. 2, the most dangerous one with the youth, immediate needs. What they need now. And what we did was we dispersed monies. And what we did not recognize was we are dispersing monies against immediate needs. Maybe the immediate need was a new Samsung phone, not the business. And most of all the submitted business plans, none of them actually came to what were submitted. Instead of a mobile, a spaza, it was something else, maybe a salon. Or it was something that suddenly changed to becoming a hawker. So those are some of the challenges we face. So now what we are doing is, within the programs we've developed as a council going forward as part of our strategy, one of the critical components is the issue of young people recognizing their qualities within themselves, their leadership qualities within themselves. Not necessarily that you need to lead people, but within your space, what is it that you can achieve? That's 1. 2, young people are innovators. They're very creative. There's so many of these ideas flaring in, especially on the 4th Industrial Revolution. We are also, through the ICANN Foundation, partnering with Aeon Reality to see how best can we position. We've got only 2 of our young people that have been invited here, and also our young lady from Manzini Nazarene. But it's a host of them. It's just that the few that we could bring here. We are also trying to ensure that within the Royal Science and Technology Park, we are bringing and bridging the gap and fostering a partnership whereby some of these innovative ideas can be tested locally. In the past, I will admit, what we have done as a council, we've taken most of our young people to the Innovation Hub in Pretoria. They've had an opportunity to interface with Portia M, and I think she's one of the very few people in South Africa who had benefited in the Innovation Hub, and the other one was the one which was highlighted by Umis Molapo, who got the 2 million fund. There's similar challenges in everything. The soap that is being produced by the Manzini Nazarene through the JA program, I have my colleague from JA. I always make sure he is my partner in crime so I don't leave him behind because of a very beautiful program they're doing in schools. Because we're trying to bridge the gap and creating future millionaires in schools so that by the time they complete their high schools, they have something. So through the ICANN Foundation, we are looking at how best can we position our young people within the 4th Industrial Revolution with all the creativity that's out there. And we're also looking at how best we can ensure that in terms of the mindset shift, how best can we actually work with the ICANN Foundation through the regions. We are not only focusing in Manzini and Babana, but all 59 Tinkundla of this country. Because our mandate is to develop our young people in their own backyard, because their challenges may not be the same.
I think it was very helpful. There's a lot of information and there's a lot of take home. We think we'll be better leaders for this engagement.
We learned a lot about how, from Dr. Malapu, we learned a lot about how to withstand leadership, how to, now you're a leader, right? So how to continue being a leader and how to influence other people to become leaders or other young leaders who are like your team. As a JA participant, I learned a lot, and I recognize my mistakes from the past, some mistakes from the talks that we got here, and they're really inspirational, like personally, on a personal level, not just on a corporate level, and really learned a lot, and looking forward to becoming leaders of the future of the fourth industrial revolution.
My name is Cindy Mabi. I am a facilitator and director with ICANN Foundation, and the Fourth Industrial Revolution Leadership Summit Eswatini was a renowned success because everybody pulled together. The team were working in unison and in uniform, particularly with our strategic partners and the government of Eswatini, the Office of the Prime Minister, Ambrose Dlamini, the Department of Tourism, Science and Technology, of course under the leadership of His Majesty Mswati III. We're really grateful as ICANN Foundation that we have now laid an action plan to work towards realizing opportunities, creating employment for young people, and advancing the African agenda when it comes to the fourth industrial revolution, that we don't miss this wave. We can all collectively grow, enrich our businesses and also our communities. So we're really thankful to the hospitality. Yes, Eswatini is really unparalleled, and we thank the media in particular for creating awareness and the brand equity that the ICANN Fourth Industrial Revolution Summit is all about.